Now, Lebanon's president has accepted the resignation of Prime Minister Najib Mikati. The move comes after the deeply divided cabinet failed to approve a commission to oversee elections planned for June, among other disagreements. Lebanon has been gripped by a political crisis linked to the unrest in neighboring Syria. Ayman Mhanna is an executive committee member of the Democratic Renewal Movement Party. He joins us now live from Beirut. Mr. Mikati also said that he hopes his resignation will now pave the way for the establishment of a national salvation government in which all political forces in Lebanon will be represented. How difficult is that likely to be?
It is definitely very difficult, but this resignation, first of all, has been long overdue. The cabinet has been very divided, as you mentioned, and Prime Minister Mikati and President Ayman were not able to assert many of the very normal constitutional decisions that the cabinet was supposed to uphold and implement. So now, of course, with a deeply divided political class and with the impact of developments in Syria, negotiations will be very long and very tedious. But this is the only way forward. A neutral cabinet that is respected and trusted by all Lebanese people is the only way out of the crisis.
You say a neutral cabinet, but whoever becomes prime minister, and Najib Mikati had long been seen as a consensus prime minister who could bring all the different factions together, whoever becomes prime minister has to lead a government dominated by Hezbollah and their allies. How do they deal with this reality?
This is definitely, a cabinet dominated by Hezbollah and Amal is definitely not a neutral cabinet. Prime Minister Mikati was a centrist, but he was not neutral. He accepted to become prime minister in circumstances back in January 2011 that were far from being neutral or accepted by everybody. So now there is a chance for a neutral cabinet from figures outside maybe political parties and the factions that are feuding currently in Lebanese politics, people from civil society, people from the business sector, people from the labor unions who maintain some kind of stability, who really implement and truly the policy of distanciation vis-à-vis developments in Syria, and who are able to initiate a dialogue on the electoral law so we can reach a law that truly represents all Lebanese people, and in order to put the elections back on track. The last time elections were derailed in Lebanon, it was during the civil war. It's a real pity that in 2012 or 2013 we are not able to agree on an electoral law and respect constitutional deadlines.
But this isn't obviously all about disagreements over the electoral law and the forthcoming elections. It's also to do with Prime Minister Najib Mikati's decision to insist on the renewal of the term in office of the Internal Security Chief, Major General Ashraf Rifi. Yes. Was this a fight that was worth picking, considering the Major General was so close to retirement age anyway? Mikati had said that if he left at this important juncture, that would leave a vacuum. But is that really the case?
This was the straw that broke the camel's back. The issue goes far beyond the technicality of the appointment of a new head of the internal security forces. There is a feeling, there is a perception amongst the Sunni community members that they are being alienated. Whether it's true or not, this is a perception that we have to acknowledge and deal with. After the assassination of Prime Minister Hariri in 2005, the ousting of Prime Minister Saad Hariri in 2011, which Prime Minister Mikati played a role in, to the assassination of General Wissam al-Hassan, there is an idea or a perception that many Sunni positions are being sidelined and alienated. And this automatically leads to a rise in Sunni extremism and the rise of extremist forces. Is that the country that we want to head to? There are issues that are far beyond technicalities that we have to look at in a way that preserves Lebanese fabric, the Lebanese fabric together, that maintains a level of moderation amongst all communities so that everybody can sit around one table of dialogue, reach an agreement on how to move this country forward and how to preserve it and protect it from the spillover risks related to what's happening in Syria right now.
Ayman Mhanna with the Democratic Renewal Movement Party on the always complicated dynamics in Lebanese politics, joining us from Beirut. Thank you very much.